Right. Welcome. Welcome. I am so grateful and delighted to have you. I'm honored. I know that your time is incredibly important. And so we're going to try to make this really valuable for your time and make sure that you actually have a lot of fun when you're here too. So logistics wise, really simple. I actually just said this a minute ago. But it's really helpful if you have paper and a pen. So grab that, take a moment just to go get that if you don't have that with you right now. And so I always like to start with our agenda so you know how things are going to unfold over the next few minutes. And so our agenda is as follows. It's pretty simple. So we are going, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I think most of you know me, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. And really, we're going to talk a little bit about what meditation and mindfulness is. And so again, we're not going to spend a huge amount of time on that. And some of you in my prior master classes may be used to kind of having more of a, kind of presentation style, but this is really going to be interactive. So feel free to jump in the chat box anytime that you can. And really, once we kind of talk about that, then we go into the workshop style, because this is called Release and Renew for the New Year. So that's the bulk of what we're going to be doing. And when we're done with that, we're actually going to do a really sweet, tender, beautiful, easy, effortless meditation together. And then after that, I'm going to tell you about my small group program that's called The Power Within. So if you have no interest in the small group program, just so you know, it's coming up after the meditation, you can hop off. But I hope most of you stay just to at least learn about it. And so anybody have any questions before we get started? No questions. All right. I'm really grateful that you guys are here. And so just a little bit about me. So I think most of you know me. I have my aunt and my mom, so they've known me since I was born. So I'm not going to go into where I was born and all of that stuff. And different, I know many of you have already worked with me before, and some of you have just met me. And so I actually am a board certified family medicine physician. I'm also a certified coach, and I'm also a certified meditation teacher. And I teach a few different types of meditation, and it is really been this beautiful circuitous route that began over a decade ago that has led me to where I am now. And it began with just a search for answers and solutions for me. I had felt stuck for a long time within just my own personal growth and my own spiritual growth, and that's how I got into meditation. And I joke that I signed up for my first meditation teacher class so many years ago because I needed the accountability. One of the things that I had to kind of promise during one of my first, kind of like, hey, if you want to be a teacher, this is going to last 18 months and you have to sign here and say you're going to meditate every day. And I needed that kind of accountability. And so I really signed up for that because I needed the accountability, not necessarily because I thought I was ever going to teach. And so it's really like this dream come true that I get to have these conversations and be able to distill this kind of information. And so, of course, as all of you know, our journey is never finished, right? And I am nowhere near done finished. I feel like I'm just getting started. And so I get to have the privilege of teaching others. So I teach in small groups. I also teach one-on-one and I coach one-on-one. I also, along with my partner here locally, Dr. Taya, we host in-person retreats. And I also love to go to other in-person retreats and coach and teach there. So that's really just a little bit about me. And so let's talk about meditation. I'm just curious for those of you here, and I know a lot of you here you already have an established meditation practice. What's really, type in the chat if you already have a meditation practice. I think that's going to be a yes for the vast majority of you. What I thought was really interesting was I was reading some things about statistics with meditation, and I always laugh whenever someone calls it New Age because it's been around for more than 4,000 or 5,000 years, and it's kind of like not exactly appropriate to call it New Age, right? And so, Lauren, yeah, you do have, but and Mary Ellen, you have one too. You have a daily meditation practice. Arpita, you do too. You anchor your morning routine as you're getting ready. Yeah, so all of you guys really know the benefits of meditation. That's why you're here. That's why you've anchored it. Like you said, I love that definition, Arpita. And so it turns out somewhere around 500 million people around the world say that they have some kind of consistent meditation practice, and I think that's really cool. And on top of that, it's somewhere around 18 to 20% of adults in the US say that they either would like to start a meditation practice, they've started one, or they're very curious about it. And so, yeah, and I mean that you don't do it daily, but you've been, yeah, absolutely. And mindfulness, exactly. And that's what we talk about is they're, kind of they're arms of the same thing. And we can have mindful walks, we can wash the dishes mindfully, we can do so many things, and that counts as being meditative as well. And so I love that. Thank you guys for giving me that feedback. At least, kind of I know where you guys are coming from. And so meditation, the definition is incredibly simple. It is just the movement or the journey from activity into stillness. It is not a way to control the mind, and we don't need to be without thoughts or anything like that. It is a simple way, and probably the strongest way and the fastest way to strengthen our mindfulness muscle, right? And mindfulness also has so many different definitions, but the one that I tend to gravitate towards, that most people also agree who teach this, mindfulness is the awareness that arises when we are paying attention to this present moment without judgment and with curiosity. And so that is really simple when you break it down, right? I mean, it's incredibly simple, but it can be difficult to do because of all the conditioning that we've had over our lives. And I think one of the most kind of profoundly, beautiful ways to tap into mindfulness is to be around kids who are, less than the age of 6 or 7. They are already always mindful. They're just curious. They're present. They have an awareness. And so to me, that connotes the idea of, this is how we were, this is how we are. And so a lot of this is just removing some of the obstacles to get to our own mindfulness. So anytime I think of meditation and mindfulness, I don't think of it as this is something that we need to do. This is really something, these are just layers that we peel off. That's really how I think of it as. And so the benefits are enormous. You know that. We would be here all day if we talked about all of that. But some simple ones are, we know that, mind-body benefits. We can actually, without trying, improve the blood pressure, improve our, heart rate. That just comes down. We can increase focus. We have less symptoms of anxiety and depression, and over time, the actual physiology of the brain changes, neurotransmitters change, so we can increase serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, growth hormone, all of those things, DHEA, depending on how much time we put into our meditation practice. And one of the more beautiful things that comes from a meditation practice is this ability or this awareness, right? That's what we're working on, is awareness, right? And when we are in awareness, whether we're in meditation or not, that's really what we're strengthening. We can begin to notice different patterns in our lives. And I think most of you have probably recognized different patterns in yourself or in others. So raise your hand if it's easier for you to recognize patterns in others. Like for me, I'm just like, oh, well, you always do this, right? It's like, right. Yeah, exactly. It's so much easier to recognize patterns in others. And it is a lot harder to recognize patterns in ourselves. And so sometimes we need to get quiet. Sometimes we need to go into a little bit of a different place to notice those patterns. And it turns out that we as human beings, we are basically working in different patterns. It doesn't mean we don't have free will, but we tend to repeat certain patterns. And patterns aren't always bad, right? I mean, if your pattern is you wake up, you brush your teeth, you meditate, you work out, you take a shower, that's a great pattern. There's no reason to change that. But there can be some other patterns that can actually keep us constricted or can keep us kind of stuck. And that's what we're here to release today. That's really what I think is so great about every time a new year comes around. We could do this anytime, but any time a new year comes around, it's a really great time to be able to release this and to be able to give us more space, right? Like allow ourselves a little bit more space in our lives and a little bit more freedom, a little bit more balance. That's really what we're looking for, right? And so, are you guys ready to jump into our workshop? Let me know. Who's here? Yes. Yep, we got some. All right, perfect, amazing. So you've got your paper, you've got your pen. So really, the next part is super easy. So go ahead and once you're comfortable, go ahead and just very, very gently close your eyes. Let's take a couple of big deep breaths together. You made it. You're here. It's the hardest part. Just coming into this moment. Just noticing what's here. Just know. Now I want you to just call forth an image of your physical surroundings. Just do this gentle exercise where you imagine your home, your car, clothes in your closet, the shoes in your closet. Bring forth an image of your body. As you consider these aspects of your life, these physical aspects, see if you can identify the things that may not be nourishing you. Is there a habit that you'd like to release? Are there accumulated things that you'd like to release? Are there things in your body or your environment that you don't really need? Just observing, noticing sensations or images that arise, come into your awareness. Let's take another deep breath in and out. Let's bring our attention to the realm of our emotions. Think about the people in our lives, in your life. Your family, your friends, coworkers. Just gently asking, am I holding on to any feelings that might be restricting my full expression? Are there relationships that I'd like to transform? Is there a behavior that I'd like to release? Is there a relationship that I'd like to release? Just gently noticing if constricting emotions like guilt show up. Just becoming aware. Not trying to make it go away, just noticing if any of that arises. Or anger. Just allowing it to be felt. What am I ready to release? Just gently returning back to your breath. When you're ready, opening the eyes. And write down, I am ready to release. And whatever insights arose for you. We'll take just a couple minutes to do this. Let me know when you guys are done. Wonder if any of you want to share. I will share first. I've got 2 teenagers and they're very bold. And there's a pattern of worry. Well, hello. I haven't just been worrying about them since they were teenagers. Didn't start recently. And sometimes there's this notion of, well, it's just how it is. It's a factory setting. If you're a mom, you have to worry all the time. Well, maybe not, because the worry doesn't really change anything, right? So there's a lot more that I'm releasing. or it's a constant instead of releasing, right? That's really what this is. Anyone else show up? I mean, a lot of times, some of the things I hear about is guilt. It can be guilt about taking care of ourselves, guilt about not doing something. There can be certain patterns that emerge in relationships. There can be all kinds of different things, right? Yeah, Arpita, I'm ready to release the guilt of not spending more time with me. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Because it doesn't serve anyone when we worry. Yeah. And the guilt. Yeah. Guilt and worry, ready to release, right? Yeah. Let me know in the chat. Love that. Yeah. See a couple of you guys typing in there. Love it. So when you have your list, we're going to do another little exercise. I want you to just look at your list, and we're going to start small. We just need to choose one. We're just going to choose one, right? And so let me know if you've picked your one pattern you're ready to release, just something that you're ready to release. Raise your hand for me. Watching you guys. Just pick one. And when you've picked it, go ahead and just gently go back into a little bit of an exercise. Everybody have one picked? Yeah? Okay, just one. So let's go ahead and just gently close our eyes again. Just coming back into the body. And begin to really give yourself permission to use your imagination here. Let's have some fun. This is supposed to be fun. It's lightness of being. So when you picked yours, I want you to just imagine that you are a big, beautiful maple tree. Tall and dignified, beautiful maple tree, full of leaves. And I want you to imagine that this pattern that you identified, that you're ready to release, this pattern are the leaves, this guilt, this worry, it's the leaves of this big, beautiful tree of yours. I want you to just imagine your life without this pattern, this habit, the lightness that might emerge. What opportunities can open? Now coming back to you as the tree, this big, bold tree. This pattern, the leaves, they were once helpful. They served a purpose once. But they're not very supportive right now. So it's natural in the fall to let these leaves go. Imagine these leaves being brilliant, yellow, orange, red. These leaves are ready to go. Using your breath, begin to loosen the leaves, releasing them. Giving these leaves permission to be released, this pattern to be released. Give these leaves permission to fall. All the leaves need to go. Maybe if you notice there are some that are stuck, just using your body, a little shake in your body, releasing the rest of the leaves. Just a gentle shake. Making room, making space. Just newness, releasing, allowing it to go. Giving yourself permission to embrace this life fully. Releasing what's no longer serving you. Just gently returning back to your body. Just scanning the body. Wiggling the toes. And when you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes. If there's any insights that came to you, take just another minute to write those down. Maybe some excuses that showed up, or maybe some new freedoms, maybe some lightness, whatever it is, just take a moment to write this down. Yes, Mary Ellen, I like this. You're ready to release the responsibility and ownership of dysfunction in certain relationships. Yeah, you carry your part. Yeah, absolutely. Anyone have anything to share? Yeah. Right. Yeah, you're ready to release the pattern of taking responsibility for everyone else's feelings. Yes, we tend to do that as women, for sure. For sure. It's a burden that we don't need. Imagine the lightness, right? Yeah. Thank you for sharing. It's beautiful. I'll give you all just another 30 seconds to write whatever it is that might be helpful for you. I see so much writing. It's beautiful. Ah, you had an experience of synchronicity just now. Yeah, of course you did. Meaningful coincidence. Sometimes when we think about someone or someone's on our mind, they might call us or text us. And that tends to happen quite a lot sometimes too. So next on our agenda is effortless, soft little meditation that I have planned for us. Lauren, I see you're still writing. I love it. Are you ready for the meditation? Okay. Okay. I love that. So just as you're ready, go ahead and very gently close your eyes. Just when you're ready, making sure you're comfortable. And once our eyes are closed, just noticing If we can drop the shoulders just a bit. Can we release the jaw just a tiny bit? Is it possible to release the tiny muscles around the eyes? Just bringing your attention to the breath, not trying to alter it in any way. Simply noticing the breath. And notice that it's natural for the mind to wander to thoughts, to the environment, to emotions, feelings. Gently returning back to the breath each time you notice the mind has wandered. Giving yourself permission to enter this moment fully, just for the next few moments. As we're here noticing the breath, let's ask ourselves this question and see what arises. What am I grateful for? Just asking ourselves these questions gently. What do I have right now that I didn't have 5 years ago, 10 years ago? What have I been given in this life? In my home, in my laughter, what material gifts, what physical gifts, what health gifts have I been given? What chances have I been given? And have I taken? What lessons have I learned? Whose heart have I touched? Whose soul have I touched? Whose life have I added value to? And who has added value to my life? What special gifts do I have? Giving yourself permission to feel the deep gratitude, whatever images or sensations that may arise. Noticing the abundance in our lives. Noticing that we are ever expanding, never less than. We may sometimes feel that we're in a time of scarcity or lack of time, scarcity of time. Noticing that abundance is our true state of being. Asking ourselves, how long have I been waiting for the right time, the right circumstances? To give myself permission to move forward. Allow yourself to receive these words, this prophecy from the elders of the Hopi Nation in Arizona. You have been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. And there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other. And do not look outside yourself for the leader. This could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift. There are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know that the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the river, into the middle, keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. See who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, most of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey come to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Still keeping your eyes closed, gently returning back to the breath. Back to the room, back to your body. And bringing in that deep sense of gratitude with you as you come back. If it feels comfortable for you to place your hands in prayer position or Anjali Mudra, just bowing head to heart in gratitude. Just as you're ready, just gently opening your eyes. Gently come back as you're ready. Namaste. So grateful that y'all are here. Type in the chat if you want to share anything. I love this quote from Rumi. There's so many Rumi quotes that are so brilliant, right? So this truth that life is a balance between holding on and letting go. It's a constant letting go and holding on to the things that serve us, letting go of things that don't serve us. So I want to tell you a little bit about my program. And actually, let's see, some of you are already in the program. Some of you are graduates. Some of you have been with me inside the membership for a long time. So I'm really grateful for that. So the Power Within is my small group program that also has very personalized attention I'm going to tell you about. And I want to give you an invitation because for some of you, this was all you needed and you're good to go and you don't need a program. But for those of you who are interested, who felt like this time was worthwhile for you, I want you to just kind of hear about the Power Within, ask me any questions that you might have as well, because this is my signature program. I only open it twice a year. So what do we have in there? We have Ayurveda, we have community, we have meditation, and we have coaching. And it is it's a 10-week program. We have 9 live sessions. And my entire goal is to inspire and empower busy women to tap into the infinite power within, which is why it's called the Power Within. And I wanted to share what Holly, a graduate, wrote, and you can find many more of these testimonials from the women who I've had the pleasure and honor of working with. And she says, you know what, this gives us fundamentals to living a strong, fruitful, beautiful existence that comes from taking this course. Whether it's the understanding of the impact of meditation or, on the trajectory of daily life or learning how to breathe to reduce stress, right? Because we do pranayama in there, or living with gratitude as a practice, or incorporating food and herbs as a function of caring for our well-being, because we're bringing a lot of Ayurvedic principles. This course is a life course. It's for every person who's interested in living their best life now as a multidimensional human being. I thought, oh, I like how she put that, right? Because we are all multidimensional. Sometimes we forget that. So let me tell you some more details about it. So really, we're going to have about 10 weeks together, 8 live weeks inside the 10 weeks. And you actually get lots of personalized attention from me because I keep the group very small. And these are live sessions that are always recorded, right? And so who is this created for? This is created if you are a busy person, you're a busy woman, you want more from your life. This is for you. If you're looking for clarity, if you're looking for inner peace, if you're curious about meditation and Ayurveda, right? If you know already that you don't have an interest in it, then this is not a great course for you. This is not a great program for you. But if you're interested and you're curious and you're ready to take that deep dive, this is it. This is really it. Right. And you want more ease in really all areas of your life. So relationships, emotions, and living life with more skill, right? So the skillful living is something that we always talk about. And really, ultimately, when we're living skillfully, we get to accomplish more by doing less. And that's what this is about. That's really what the power within is really about. And so really at the kind of the nuts and bolts of it, really these are some of the topics that we talk about, right? So meaningful productivity, mind-body connection, Ayurvedic wisdom. And of course, there is an on-demand library that I'm constantly building on with NSDR, which is non-sleep deep rest, which is also known as Yoga Nidra. There are micro meditations in there for you too. If you only have 5 minutes, you get to try micro meditation. We have a private Facebook group where we are really kind of promoting this community feel, where you just have space, a container, a beautiful, spacious, non-judgmental container for whatever's going on, right? If you're a physician, if you are looking for CME, we can work on that. So this is also something that that we can do, which is a pretty cool thing. The bonuses are short-lived, right? And so the program is open right now. We begin on January 20th. And so you get to have a seat inside a detox program that we're going to be doing during this springtime. There are going to be guest coaches as well who are going to bring in some incredible wisdom. And if you sign up in the next couple days, what is it today, 7th? If you sign up before the 12th, you're going to get 2 private sessions from me, which is actually going to take this way off the kind of the roof for investment. Total value, when you add all these up, and I'm going to let you take a look, and the website is around $6,000 for this 2-week course. Right now, this is the lowest actually that I have ever offered it. And it is $1,195 for really just the next 48 hours. Plus you get all these bonuses. And let's talk about what some other people say, right? So Beth says, this is really a journey into understanding yourself. Through a variety of tools, you begin to explore new ways of thinking and being. And she's really discovered a sense of peace through this program. So as I was thinking of like, how else can I explain it? I thought, let me just tell you what others say about it, right? And so Leah is also another graduate. She said this. She said, I've been able to take steps during this very busy time in my life and invest in myself through the power within. I've become more empowered physically and mentally balanced, and I have found an inner peace that I remember having when I was a very small girl. That's kind of cool. With the tools and strategies and the power within, nothing can get in my way. Right. So Amita, this is a beautiful question. So the sessions are on Fridays and they are at noon. Now we keep the group really small. So this last group that we had, actually everyone agreed on a different time. And so we actually switched it based on the different time. But right now, and I do have a couple of people already in, and I know I've asked them that they know that they're pretty flexible actually. And so right now it is Fridays, and it's Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern, which would be a little bit different. But we can shift that just a little bit, but it more than likely will be Fridays. And so a lot of times we like to wait for the most perfect time, right? Like the most perfect time when your dog can sit like this right underneath a rainbow and you can take a photo, which this is my dog Ivy. She's great for photographs, and lots of other things too. But I love this quote, which is two little words can make all the difference, which is start now. And so there's no better time. This is really the one time that that we have. That's the only time that we have, right? What other questions do you guys have? Anybody have other questions? Some of the kind of common questions. Let me stop my share. There we go. Some of the more common questions that I get are, what if I sign up and I just don't have the time for it? And I think that's a really very valid concern because everyone here has really busy lives. And the time commitment is 1 hour a week. So I've had graduates who couldn't come to a single live session. Sarah, it starts on January 20th, so we have a little bit of time. And there's going to be a recording of all of these. And remember, because we're inside of a community and because if you sign up in the next 48 hours, you get the one-on-one with me, there's going to be this constant support that's going to be there. And so I don't know that anyone has actually made every single one of these sessions in the past. And it is more common to miss several of these just because life gets in the way. But I like to keep kind of a consistency to it. And again, because we're a small group, we do have space to be able to move these if everyone is in agreement and it doesn't harm anyone. So we begin on the 20th, and I am just excited. This is an invitation that only comes twice a year. And so I would really ask you to consider this. If any of this sounded like this is right up your alley, if this sounded like, yeah, I'm curious about this, and you've done some work into this and you're ready to get into a deep dive, this is the time. This is the time. I'm going to stop our recording. Ooh, let me type in the chat. Actually, I'll type in the chat. So it's just my website and it's TPW. There we go. I'm going to stop our recording. So take a look. There's a lot more information there too, obviously.